You were tremendous at the source. I was terrified for you, but, well, you made it through. And, dare I say, defined a generation of weavers in the process. You've made history, and I couldn't be prouder of you.
You're right, of course. I'll need to be fated across the lands. Fame and fortune, here I come. Which is to say, don't compliment me too much. My ego won't cope.
I don't think anyone could blame you for having an inflated ego after taking down the greatest foe imaginable all by yourself.
And yet, I must restrain myself. What a cruel world. So, what's next on our to-do list?
Getting back into the thick of it already. Let me check my notes. We still have work to do on understanding the Surgeborn Herald.
Gotcha. I'll get on that when I have a moment.
Excellent, thank you. It's been a remarkably difficult chapter for all of us. While there's still more to do, I think we can take a moment to congratulate ourselves on making it this far. Only then can we look forward. And after all, who knows what the future holds?
And after we congratulate ourselves, what then?
We get back to it, just like we always do.
Well said.
Would you have preferred the five-headed poison-spitting lizards in the end? What? Back when we were working to undo Asylum. You said you'd be fine if the underground was filled with five-headed lizards spitting poison. Don't you remember?
You're an odd one, Lane. You know that. I wouldn't change a thing about you, though. But as far as five-headed lizards spitting poison...
A lot has happened. But suppose the five-headed lizards didn't speak.
Then I would take them over the Talon's snark any day.
We have our answer.
Oh, drat. Wait, no, thoughtless dove. I am delighted to see you up and about, Bryn.
Are you sure?
I am delighted to see you. And, as it turns out, Lane has just emptied.
Never bet against the alchemist about recovery times.
Indeed. A lesson I have zero regrets about learning, for it means you are up sooner than I would have.
How about the tapestry? No chance we've managed to remove all the tangles?
Alas, no. Take heart, though. Everything I have observed suggests things are not going to get worse. They may even improve in time, naturally, now that the raw magic flowing into the Enclave is regulated.
What's going on with the veil?
It's not coming down anytime soon, but it no longer seems to be overcharged. In retrospect, it's possible the veil was the only thing that stopped the source from outright exploding.
How so?
Its activation pulled, and continues to pull, mind you, an enormous amount of magic away from the source. That draw was enough to slow the rush of magic. It's possible the reason the veil went up so suddenly was as an emergency measure.
We clearly did something at the source. But was it enough?
To stabilize things? Oh, yes. What's become abundantly clear is that the source had been damaged, though we're not sure how. Perhaps a small surge that cascaded into the real surge? That's all in the past, though. The current flow of magic seems to be balanced such that the veil is consuming most of it.
That sounds good, right?
Oh, most definitely. It leaves us at an equilibrium. That is so much better than the alternatives.
How's our little arc friend holding up?
So far, very well. It continues to pacify the raw magic coming from the source, and is self-sustaining as far as we can tell, thanks to your little push. Please don't do that again, by the way. Very dangerous, and we're all terribly fond.
So, what's next for us, do you think?
I have every plan to continue studying the source while I can. The Axel has given me special dispensation. She feels my presence somewhat tempers the ambitions of the High. He seems rather keen on becoming the next Spindle, less so on securing a sustainable future for the Enclave. At the same time, I'm told the alchemists are making a hard push for their representative to take the position. Yep. Sola's been teasing me about it incessantly, of course, reminding me to take a breath of all things. Which reminds me, I do have some things to attend to, so I won't bend your ear unnecessarily. Here if you need me for anything. Bryn of Carnhaven.
There she is.
I live!
I'll admit, you had us all worried for a beat there. But it's good to see you back on your...
Tell me about you, Eric. This has been a lot.
Well, on the one hand, still getting used to the title, but it is coming in handy for throwing my political weight around. Hirun and I don't always see... eye to eye. But she's sharp and we work it out. We're hoping to lift the restrictions on the scouts mingling with the larger hold populace for one. Lots of happy families.
And on the other hand?
I feel like I've won some kind of prize being allowed to spend time with your band. You're all such veterans as weavers. It's an honor to feel like I've been accepted.
How are the people at Cassidy's hold faring?
Everyone can feel it. Things are different. It's like a pressure we'd all got so used to is lifted.
Perhaps literally.
The raw magic, you mean? Hadn't thought of that, but you're probably right.
How have you and the other scouts been doing recently?
Exceptionally well. The Surgeborn are still out there, but they're... disoriented, scattered, something like that.
That will be easier to deal with for everyone involved.
Yeah. Still dangerous, but it's like...
That all sounds positive. Any thoughts on where we go from here?
Well, there's one very... You are not allowed to die, or make me think you...
Oh, spirits. Yes, of course. I can...
All of us? Really? You didn't see the band's faces when the scry cut out. Anyway, beyond that, it's hard to say. The veil's not down, just stable. We work with that, and see what other what... And with you and your band here, I'm pretty sure we can handle anything.
Now that Casman's trading with the Halfsiders, Khan Arteme has reached out to ask if I would forge arms for the scouts. They've been wearing leftover arc armor all this time. Though I'll have support from the Enclave's smithing guild, it'll be a long project.
Sev won't be teaming up with you on this one.
The Axel has Sev working on the tapestry right now. Besides, I'm just happy to see he's found his calling.
I didn't think it was possible, but he stands a little taller these days.
Me working with the guild, Sev controlling the weather, you kicking major ass at the heart of the Enclave? Who would have thought we'd wind up here when we first passed through the Veil?
Not me. Part of me thought the Ark of the Stricken Earth was going to do me in.
Nah. We both know you never thought that for a second. We've all come a long way.
Do you ever miss the days when the stakes of the band's adventures were a little lower?
Strangely, not at all. It's been quite the rush. Though, give us a few more scares like you did when the scry cut out, and I might change my mind.
Don't worry.
Anyone else feeling a little light?
Glad to see Lane's got you up on your feet. The Axel and I have opened up trade between our band and the Hearthsiders to support... She seems... lighter since you got back from the source.
I'll have to check in with her and see for myself.
The relief efforts showed me it's difficult to pinpoint when a community is coming out of crisis. But there is one common marker. People could be as small as an appointment with your local apothecary, or as big as sending invitations to your wedding. You can't plan for the future when tomorrow's not a guarantee.
You think the Hearthsiders are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Not even close. But they're starting to live again We're lucky she made it out alive.
I don't know many weavers who could do what you just did and survive. Scratch that. I don't know any.
I feel a bit lightheaded from all the tonics. But otherwise, I'm back up on both feet.
We thought you had...
Darm and the Axel practically tossed me through the loom gate after I made my way back up the rope. They looked pretty shocked. I suppose, even with the tangles disappearing, the odds of me making it out of the chasm were slim.
let alone surviving what the spindle didn't. You know, channeling your magic into that arc was risky.
She did it for the Enclave. So did I. And you would have done the same.
I can't argue with that. Here's to doing the impossible, then.
To doing the impossible.
Everyone knew the aeroliths could smooth out the weather, but no one suspected they could change it so suddenly. Since the surge, they've caused wild swings, but no one has ever tried to control it.
Sev's achieved something incredible.
And practical. Imagine the look on a glass tail's face when it suddenly turns blisteringly hot.
Surprise, Icy Boy. It's summer.
Ha! Exactly. Advantage, Bryn.
Goodness, you're irrepressible. You've just been to the brink of death and back, but you're already back up and at it. You're allowed to take a break, you know.
I get bored easily. Much rather be out here getting things done.
Well, I'll say this. Your efforts haven't gone unnoticed. With the Arc of Verdance doing its work at the source, the raw magic is beginning to dissipate. In time, we'll be able to secure a workspace. Then, we can start repairing the tapestry. Everyone in the hold has begun to look to the future. Many never had a reason to. Children and adults alike, sensing the intoxicating allure of newborn hope.
I know what it's like to watch your people rebuild after dark times. It's hard, but beautiful too.
I've been asked by a citizen committee to establish our first new holiday in decades. Spindle's Day, they want to call it.
Ah. How do you feel about it?
I wish things were different. And I know she would have hated all the attention, but I think it's right.
She'd be really proud of you for stepping up.
I would hope so too. It is the least I can do to honor her memory, day by day. As always, I have a great deal on my plate to get back to. promise me you'll take a break? If only to spend time with the people you care about.
I will.
You just couldn't take a break, could you? But no. Instead, you had to unearth a revelation so dangerous it could destabilize the entire Maida Basin.
Not my fault. Incredible discoveries just fall into my lap.
Right. I admire the work your band did on researching the Herald. Lane, in particular. Hold on tight to them. They're an extremely valuable resource.
They're a great kisser, too.
Spare me.
With that, plus the number of times their research has saved our heart, I don't think they could leave the Weaver Band even if they tried. We wouldn't let—
You would be fools to do so. I wanted to mention, by the way, if you could pass this along. Lane's welcome to visit the Hold anytime. Open invite.
I'll pass it along.
Now, I'd better get back to it. I'm encouraged by the research Sev's done on the tapestry. He has a quick mind.
The opportunity to prove himself outside of the Norians means a lot to him.
We're going to find out what he can do with a team backing him up. It's key we repair the tapestry as quickly as possible.
It seems I owe you and Sebastian a word of thanks.
Unexpected, but you're welcome.
Herun has seen fit to approve my involvement in the tapestry repair. As much as it is irksome to be assigned work, I will confess, something to do will help, I'm sure.
What? Are we no longer on speaking terms after I kicked your otherworldly up? You can't talk. We didn't just cut off your ability to access the scry. The Ark of Verdance must have done something to you at the source. Huh. I wonder what this means.
is good to see you up and about again.
Thanks, Ev. Nothing keeps me down for long.
No. And even if there was a moment we were all terrified, I'm not upset with you. If anything, I'm absolutely certain what you did was for the...
Aw, you remembered. So,
The only thing left for me and Tarza are assassins. So, not that the Veil gives us much choice, but you take...
the Axel will love to have someone with your expertise around.
Yes. I am a better collaborator than Stanil, she tells me. Just so long as it stabilizes things. And I mean that
She's like my mother. Always thinking about her role more than herself.
And unlike my last patron, at least she seems honest about our relation.
Mochi, mochi!